Hi Cake, it's Sunday! And it's special edition Erica didn't make a video on Wednesday day. Today's theme is going to be about eating disorders, so get ready to get real happy. First we have anorexia nervosa, and that involves an intense fear of gaining weight, and you avoid therefore eating food, and your thoughts are always consumed by thinking about food and how much calories you've eaten and your weight. You cannot stop thinking about them. So tendency to have something called body dysmorphia, which is where you may look really skinny, but when you look in the mirror, you see yourself as much larger than you actually are. You can't actually perceive in reality what your body actually looks like. And if this were to go untreated for a long time, then you run the risk of having osteoporosis, kidney damage, and heart failure. The second type is bulimia nervosa. This is an eating disorder that goes in cycles of binging and purging. So when you binge, it's when you eat an intense amount of calories in one sitting, even though you still feel like you feel full, you keep eating. And while you're doing this, it's supposed to give you a sense of comfort. Lots of people start to eat the food because they find it comforting, and then once they finish eating that intense amount of food, there's lots of feelings of guilt and shame, and then they go and they purge, which can either be done by vomiting or taking laxatives or extreme amounts of exercising. That's just gets to a point where it's not healthy for your body to be going in such extremes. Bulimia has a lot of health risks with it. If you were to purge by vomiting, the acid from your stomach will actually cause lots of tooth decay. It puts you at risk for gum disease and loss of tooth enamel. You also, because you have electrolyte imbalance, you don't have potassium. That affects your heart, and lots of bulimics have arrhythmias, also have the risk of osteoporosis and kidney damage. In the United States, it's estimated that 8 million people suffer from eating disorders. I just want to state that that's probably a gross underestimation, because eating disorders aren't something that people just come out with. 7 million of those estimated are supposed to be women, and 1 million are males. 1 out of every 200 females in the United States suffers from anorexia, and 2 to 3 out of 100 women in the United States suffer from bulimia, but only 1 out of 10 get treatment. 50% of females ages 11 to 13 think that they're overweight, and 80% of those females ages 11 to 13 have tried to go on extreme diets to lose weight. I just really want us to think about what it means to be age 11 and the fact that you are still growing and you still have baby fat, and thinking that you should lose weight is just, it's a really depressing thing that exists in our society, that we live in a place where we tell people to lose weight all the time, and that somehow losing weight is associated with being healthy, whereas gaining weight is associated with getting fat, and there's this fat phobia, especially for women. And for me specifically, I feel like a lot of that comes from so much of the media having just bashing us with images of super skinny females and telling us that that's what beauty is. And then we have this fucked up concept of what it actually means to be beautiful and what it means to be desired. I know that in Berkeley we have Body Positive Week, which I think is great. I think it's beautiful to love yourself, but I also don't think loving yourself is enough, because you can love yourself all you want, and that's not going to change the standards that our society has. That does nothing to question the politics of why women are forced into this thinking that they're not good enough, that they're not good because they're not skinny. And I feel like you should love yourself, and there should also be a healthy amount of fighting back against all of these political tools that work to keep women down. And I think one of those tools is things like this beautiful thing. I saw this last night when I was planning to make this video, and I went through it and I picked out some ads that I just find extremely offensive and who elucidate my point exactly. So here's an ad for Levi jeans. All right, see all the girls on there? They're skinny, and they say, "Bring us your skinny tomboys, your curvy girls, and all girls in between. The new democracy of jeans is about shape, not size. Finally, jeans for us." And I want you to just look at the girls they chose to represent us. Now, me, I don't see me in there. because I sure as hell don't look that skinny. And this girl, oh, camera's backwards. This girl right here, they call her Supreme Curve. I don't know. Yeah, there's some curve there, but it sure as hell ain't no Supreme Curve. I got more Supreme Curve than that. If they think that that is Supreme Curve, oh, that is just inappropriate. And so there's images like that where it's like, you look at that and you're like, that's Supreme Curve? Oh my God, what does that make me? I mean, I don't think that, because I think that's a very unrealistic representation of body types. If that's supposed to be the array of what bodies look like, I just don't understand what people they think exist in the world, because that sure as hell is not what my body looks like. And there's this other ad in the back, which is not really about body, but it's about, oh, where is it? It's about women nonetheless. It's an ad with Katy Perry in it. Everybody just take a look at this. Now, initially, probably many of you don't have issues with this ad. When I saw that, I literally boiled up in my face, because A, she's dressed in a skin-tight leopard print outfit with her boobies hanging out, and she's crawling like an animal. And I just want to know what that's doing to make me feel sexy. Like, why, in order to feel sexy, do I have to be animalistic beyond my knees on the ground and wearing things that look extremely uncomfortable? That ad is gross. It is not sexy. And if that's what men think is sexy, I don't want to be sexy. You want to know what's sexy? My brain. The fact that I can derive things. The fact that I could probably verbally take down anybody if I'm angry enough about the topic. Ads like this work to make women think that in order to be sexy, you have to not be taken seriously. You have to be flirtatious. You have to be fun. You have to not be that smart. You have to dress in skin-tight clothing. And that does nothing to help women be taken seriously as intellectual beings who should not be valued by the size of their body or the size of their tits or, you know, how nice their ass is, but how fucking smart they are. Because this does not look intelligent to me. I'm sorry, Katy Perry. I don't even like your music, but you're not doing anything for women. You're not doing anything for women. There's so many things in here about losing weight. Like, it's just, you can turn the page and they'll be like, get a nice ass. Like, 10-minute workout. Lose weight. Be abnormally skinny. I don't understand it. And all of that's geared towards women losing weight. But what my question is where do you draw the line between dieting and anorexia or bulimia? Because if you're constantly thinking about what your body looks like, and if you're constantly thinking about what food you've eaten, and if you feel guilty about what food you've eaten, just because you're not extreme doesn't mean that you're not suffering from a mentality that is very similar to eating disorders. I want people to think more about why they want to lose weight. What about your body are you trying to change, and why are you trying to change that? Are you truly changing it because you don't feel comfortable in your own skin? Or are you changing it because you don't feel comfortable with how people perceive you and you want to be perceived in a way that you think is desirable? And that's not healthy. I just want there to be more of a critical look at why dieting is such a huge part of our society. Because I think if you were to truly dig deep down and realize why you're dieting and who you're really doing it for, it would be a rude awakening, and it would be one that would lead you down a much healthier path to body positive and self-love.